Louisiana beer reviews. Stone's Sublimely Self-Righteous Ale. 8.7% alcohol. This was originally brewed in 2007 for a special, just around there, and then they rolled it out around there in Escondido, California, and then they rolled it out nationally in 2009. It's a very dark ale. It has 90 international bitterness units. They use Chinook, Simcoe, and Amarillo hops. It's an outstanding score on Beer Advocate. The bros say outstanding also. That's their second highest rating. A 100 out of 100 on rate beer, and a 100 out of 100 for the style. So super high on that website, high as you can go. And then an excellent score on the Beer and Me. So it's good ratings all around. I've never had it. It was about 5 something for this bottle. Now I'm noticing they're saying here, enjoy by September 29th, 2013. So it's a little outdated. I think I bought it around that time and I didn't look at the date. So here we are in October. I guess it'll be alright, but the hops might have faded. We'll see. And that alcohol didn't fade. Okay, but sometimes they don't fade really too much, like people claim they will. But I mean, I'm saying that maybe they'd have been a lot more intense if I'd have had it fresh. It looks thick coming out the bottle. Okay, a very thick beige head, and the appearance is reddish brown. You can see it. Well, the sun coming right at me through there, it's reddish brown. Now from that direction, it just looks very dark brown, almost black. But it's good to look at these beers with the sun shining through it, and then you can get a better idea of the color. As far as bubble streams, I don't see any, but it's hard to see it anyway, it's so dark. Let's check out the aroma. Okay, nothing unusual. A lot of fruitiness, like pineapple, that kind of stuff from the hops. Dark roasted barley malt, a lot of sweetness, bold sweetness. That breadiness. It's got that characteristic Stone Brewing Company aroma, though. It's hard to describe, but I find all their beers have a similar aroma and flavor. It's almost like maybe it's the yeast they use or something in their brewing process, but I was telling a friend that the other day. I said, I like Stone beers, but they all kind of taste the same, but not to say the taste is bad. But a lot of these brewing companies have a characteristic, I guess you call it a house style or a house flavor. A lot of Miller beers have a, if you try different things from Miller, they're very similar in flavor. Let's go with the taste. Yeah, I can't describe it really, but it does have that stone character. I guess it's because they're like super hoppy, you know. It's a very hoppy, hop forward. It's really just a lot of hop oil. With an undertaste of dark roasted barley malt and a lot of sweetness and bread crust. It's not that complex really, or difficult to pin down. It's really just kind of standard to me. I was watching Joseph with Proper Hops, and he was going through, like, him and his girlfriend, but especially he was going through like a litany of 70 different flavors, which I find he does that, and I don't see. I think people sometimes, I'm not saying he does, but I think people just making up things to describe. I don't taste all that. You know, it could be a chocolate note coming from the dark roasted barley, but I mean, you're only looking at water, barley malt, hops, and yeast, okay? And it's not super yeasty. The mouthfeel is medium to heavy, so it's a pretty heavy-bodied beer, and it's a little slick, a little oily, and the finish is, like most beers, semi-dry. It's about almost 9:30 this morning. I got a late start. I was piddling around. Plus the sunlight wasn't right. And it's, to me, I mean, if you're not used to these kind of things, you might find it harsh, but it's pretty easily drinkable. I'm certainly not going to go along with Rate Beer saying it's 100 out of 100. I think Beer Advocate's a little more correct with like the second highest score. And you know, you're seeing a bit of a trend, or you might, if you watch a lot of reviews like I do, and read a lot of stuff, you're seeing a trend against hops. It's like in the last 15 years, people went hop berserk. And I don't know why. It's just an ingredient. I mean, I like bitterness too, but it's sort of almost like the beer industry and the beer enthusiasts they got fixated on this. It's like a fixation on an aspect of beer. I like that dark roasted aroma. It really comes through. Well, it's great. It's a fine, fine beer. I mean, but there's a lot of fine, fine beers. I've run across excellent more than I run across bad or even average. So nice lacing. I will give it an A, a solid A. It's a most excellent beer, and I'm usually very pleased with the Stone beers. Although I think North Coast and Anchor and Sierra Nevada are probably a little better than Stone, but no knock against Stone. Their prices aren't usually too bad, and I don't guess you can go wrong with Stone beers, that's for sure. So anyway, I don't want to philosophize too much on all this. It's mostly just something that, beer in general is just something fun to have and drink. People get too wrapped up in it and then start attacking each other and all that's so silly. But anyway, Laissez Le Bon Temps Roulé. This is a most excellent beer, solid A, and I'm gonna end this review by saying y'all come on down to typically warm New Orleans.